Hello everyone, welcome to this presentation on brief history of transactional analysis. The history of transactional analysis begins with Dr. Eric Berne. Dr. Eric Berne was a physician born in Canada and practicing in US. He had a colleague called Muriel James who trained a lot of people, and among them Father George Kandathil from India. Father George Kandathil eventually came to India and started a TA Institute in Kalamashedi, where Sister Annie Maria and Shashi Chandran were trained. Now, I was trained by Annie Maria and Shashi Chandran. So, I am saluting my gurus before I present. So, this is Eric Berne training Muriel James. From Muriel James, Father George Kandathil, and Sister Annie Maria and Shashi Chandran. And then here I am in front of you. I am fifth generation of TA trainers. This is a picture of Dr. Eric Berne's study. This is the study from which all the ideas were generated and all his famous books were written there. I visited his home and study in 2009. So this picture was taken as a memorial for that visit. These are some of the early colleagues of Berne who developed the TA theory. Berne himself passed away quite early at the age of 60 years. But all these people, Claude Steiner, Jackie Schiff, Jack Ducey, Muriel James, the Gouldings, Fenita, Steve Karpman, Jeannie Leslie, Richard Skine. There are many more people, but these are some of the people who have significantly contributed to the theory while Berne was alive and even after his death. I'm going to show you some of these people. I've got the privilege to visit them in 2009, see many of them. This is Steve Karpman. This is Richard Skine. This is Claude Steiner. He is no more now. This is a picture of Steve Karpman and Richard Skine I took in 2019 when I went for the World Conference. Again, this is Jeannie Leslie Clark when I visited her in 2019. This is Muriel James, and this is Fanita English. This is Carol Solomon. These are some of the new generation TA stalwarts who are very active and who continue to contributing to theory. This is Bill Connell, Rebecca Trotman, Julie Hay, Marco Heath, Elizabeth Heath and John Heath, Monica Tunisen, Jan Grant. They are all people who have contributed in many ways to the theory. She is Robin, who's the editor of the journal for quite some time. Now I work with her, so I got this picture of hers. So all of them have contributed, are still very active, and so I got these pictures when I visited them recently in the last conference. Now the philosophy of TA. The philosophy is the principle behind the theory. So Eric Berne developed this theory from his wide experience and deep experience. He has traveled world over, he has worked with many societies and many cultures. At one time he was the president of Indian Psychiatric Society. So the first concept or the principle in the philosophy is that people are okay. This okayness is about people being okay for just being people, not because of what they do, not because of their skin color, not because of what they believe, just for being human, everybody is okay. This is a hard thing to understand, probably. If you have any difference of opinion, please raise it in our forum discussions. Second principle is everyone without brain damage can think. So, okay, people can think if they have a functional brain. People who think can make decisions, and these decisions can be changed. So, this is a philosophy which develops a decisional model for human mind. We learn how it is decisional, how it is about um, okayness, all that is coming. Now, there are some facts of life which Byrne says are practically absolute, meaning nobody can challenge. So, if you can challenge, you raise your challenges. But these are the facts that Byrne says which nobody can challenge. It is connected with the existential need of all human beings. All of us were born as babies, so we need to grow up. So that is the existential need. The practical truth is we all were born as babies. There's no one who has grown the way we are. And when we grew up, we developed capacity to think. So we need to make decisions for everyday living. That is an existential need. Nobody grew up by themselves. Some parent figures looked after us when we were growing up. So we also have a responsibility or need to bring up the next generation. So based on these existential needs and practical truths which are not challengeable, Byrne has developed his theory. There may be many understandings behind it, but I am interested in what may be the neurological process in the personality development. We are living in an era where neurology is bringing out very rapidly a lot of information which can make sense for many of the psychological concepts which were considered abstract earlier. So one of them is brain is plastic. Plastic means not the regular plastic we use, the quality of plastic. That is, brain is continually moldable. Or in other words, our experience molds the brain and the brain is in constant change. How is this change happening? What is the physiological process of this change? The essential or the basic process is neurogenesis or new nerve cell formation. Earlier, before 1990s, the teaching in physiology was that new nerve cells are never formed after birth. But today we know for sure that every day new nerve cells are being formed, and hippocampus and periventricular area are the regions of the brain identified to have the greatest number of new nerve cells being formed. If you're interested about it, search for it, and there's plenty of literature available. You can read on this. More than new nerve cell formation, new nerve cell connects with old and new cells. So the connections are also part of the neurogenesis. Also, new connections continuously form between existing cells and new cells. The changes in the existing connections, which includes destroying of old connections, development of new connections, or changes in the synapse or dendritic spine. They are all part of the neurogenesis. A spike zone is a particular part of the nerve cell which can alter when one neuron responds to stimulation from other. That is also a significant aspect of the neuronal change that continuously is happening. Interested people can read more about it. Now, what brings about this change? Our environment or experience brings about changes in the brain or molds the brain. Now, every experience can be considered a firing of neurons. Firing means neurons send an impulse. An electrical impulse passes through the nerves in all our experience. Even as you are listening to me, there are so many neurons that is firing together and the process of learning happening inside you. So this is all happening through formation of new connections. Over time, they rewire. For example, rewire means now you heard this presentation. You go back and read on something interesting. You go back and listen to this presentation again, or you talk to somebody about this presentation. Each time you do this, the same neurons that fired at your first experience when you listen to it today fires again and again and again. So it's like constructing a new road. When you walk on a new road, the road gets formed well. In a similar way, the nerve cells get connected well. Similarly, when you share your feelings and develop your intelligence in emotional aspects, again rewiring is happening. When you unlearn something, an old connection may break. That is also neurogenesis. So a different kind of wiring happens. So all aspects of our experience in one way or other causes neuronal firing and rewiring. So wiring and rewiring or firing and refiring is the key process in the changes that happen in the brain. Based on this neurological understanding and based on the theory that Eric Berne developed, we are now going to learn about the theory of personality structure. It is called structural analysis in TA. The basic unit of personality has been defined by Berne as ego state. An ego state is defined as a consistent pattern of feeling and experience directly related to a corresponding consistent pattern of behavior. So here you can see that a feeling, experience and behavior goes together. So it is a state of mind in which a unit of feeling, experience and behavior always goes together. So a person has different ego states. That is the theory. How these ego states are formed and what are these ego states and how feeling, experience and behavior is connected in these ego states, we will learn in the next week's lesson. So please go and read the written material that I have sent to you. And if you want, you can listen to this presentation again. If anything is not clear, please raise your questions in the forum. You can also contact each other and clarify among yourself. And next time, you can send your doubts. Please take your notebooks and write the exercise that I have asked you to do. There are two exercises. One is a reflective exercise, a few writing exercises. I have sent you the month's program. You look at the month's program, you can see what are the exercises for week 1. So take some time to do that. to reflect and understand all this.